Hello. What a vet.
Okay, just getting connected.
I hear you.
Yeah, there. See, and we can see Manish. And now when people speak, it looks like they're right in the room. You see, Manish. They're kind of,
Yep.
Yeah. Anyway, we finally got the icons, the little thumbnails, the Toria thumbnails, horizontal instead of vertical. So that means that when you look at the recording, you look at YouTube, it will seem like everybody is really much more in the class as opposed to the
That's
icons
the
on the
physical.
side. And anyways, okay. It's just these are all the little tech things I'm trying to deal with. I was never a tech person. I mean, I produced a lot of stuff and I had crews but this has really challenged me. Okay, so
You
Manish,
should get a
you can
crew.
you can hear me clearly, right?
Yeah. You should get
Good.
a
We can
crew
hear
to
you. So I've got the
do
right
all the
setting
management.
here.
Uh-huh.
Great. Okay.
Hello,
Just gonna
people
get
from the real
started
world.
momentarily. Just need to and we need to get the five screens going because we've got a big think through today. Just a very sensitive table. And it starts crackling. So I want it good. Okay, and then we've got juice here in the battery, yeah, good. And I have taped that up at the end because I found out where that was a problem. This should go everything. That goes behind me, otherwise that gets in the way. But this is okay. Now, the next thing is we want to get the screens and we'll do this. What do we got? That's over here. It's, and then let's get just going to get the boards, the screens, the little screens going. Then we're going to start. So, hello, Cosmos. We're going to start in just 2 or 3 minutes. I'm just checking to see what we have here. That's good. So we're really going to get rid of extra stuff. Uh, and good. So those are our notes from last class, and I'll get the onboard going, and then I have to do this. So what I'm doing is I'm just getting things connected on the think-through screens. And we do that by, of course, we'll, okay, well, we'll just take this for now. Export, screen share, wired. Okay, so let's see if this comes up as 1. Let's see if this comes up as 1. It should. Okay, so good. Okay, so things are working. And that is a short history of the world class, but I'm just gonna we'll get that going. And I don't want to forget
Is that like an agenda?
because this is really important. Okay, so we're into humanity's destiny.
Oui.
Humanity's destiny. Wednesday, March 26th, 2025. Okay, and then on board. And then we'll just get this going. Okay. So me. And then for the rest of you, okay, just come up when you can and please, thank you. And then this should be working too. I just want to get these other ones going. So we're just doing on board now. And we'll do this and this would be team 2. Okay. Team 2, think through. Team 2, think through. Okay. Now, let's see if that we're getting it up there. Then we're good. I can deal with the rest later. That should be 2. Okay. So let's see if it comes up as 2. Come on, you can do it. You can do it. I know why. Because it didn't want to connect. But we're going to get connected. If not, funny, because this was working earlier. Screen share, wired. Is that because that was on a different... There we are. Okay, good. So that's enough for now. That's enough for now. We'll get the rest set up as we go. Okay, and then for this, yeah, we don't need that. So we don't want to forget live chat. And I'll leave this on YouTube for now. And that looks just great. Okay, so YouTube is happening. There we go. Sound. And everybody can hear there. So we are just about good to go. Cosmos in person. The rest of the screens I will do. We have, okay, so I'm just going to get a little water. Good. And then we're going to begin. Great, and I'll shut the doors. And we have team 2, and then we'll have, so we'll probably have pairs. We'll probably have 2 people work on the, so I'm just getting the doors closed, and we can start. Things have been working well today. Yeah, we've got the microphones there. We're maintaining, and I'm going to leave this here for now to keep this steady. I just want to see how things are working on YouTube, but that is really going to look great. Now, do you notice anything different in terms of what you're seeing on YouTube and the YouTube recording, Jake?
Nah, everything is all good.
What do you see, Manish? Do you see anything different?
You have new clothes.
How
And also, I
about
see two different teams. I see
are
the
you
screen.
looking at YouTube? Can you look at the YouTube live stream?
Oh, hold up 1 second.
Oh, go to that because I think you're on Toria, the video conference system, and so we have.
Let me go pull up onto YouTube.
If you go onto
I
YouTube,
see it.
you're going to see.
Yeah, it's good. Don't worry, it's all normal.
And where do you see your window? Do you see it horizontal or do you see it vertical?
Oh my
You
god!
see your
lag.
Manish at the
Yep.
bottom going
At
across
the bottom
back,
right. Bottom right.
right behind the couch.
Yep.
Okay, and then Corson, are you Corson? Can you come in on your microphone? Are you able to? Let's see. Arshdeep, Edith, somebody else come in on their microphone. But if not, it's okay. I have confirmation. We can see it here. It's really great because now
There's also some minor delay.
yeah,
that
yeah,
was a
there
good
is.
one.
Exactly. It's called latency. So what you see on the Toria video conference is I'll just come back here for a second.
It has
is
like
about
0 to 1
10
latency.
seconds or no, actually even less. There we are. And then watch. I'll do it. So I'm going to raise my hand right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5-second delay on YouTube, which is fine. Actually, it might even be less. I didn't press here. Okay, so it's really good that things are working better and better, and we can start the class. I think right now we're in good shape. So welcome everybody to Humanity's Destiny. We have 4 more classes to go, including today, so that's 4, and then 3, 2, 1 next week.
I'm
So
sad
we're
now.
coming towards the end of the semester, and there's a lot still that we want to do about New Worlds. And I've left New Worlds. Come on in. I've left New Worlds as a larger module, meaning more classes this semester, because I wanted to include the new worlds that we're facing on Earth, and in particular, Canada. So, what I'd like to do today, in a moment, is have all of us engage in a very intensive think tank here, thinking through things. And we're going to think through, what is your vision for Canada? What is the new Canada that is starting to emerge? Because the future is not just about humanity's future on planet Earth, but it's also increasingly, as we move towards the end of the semester, it's about your future as an individual. And it would be a great disservice of me if I did not give you a chance to really think through something that is so important right now. We're living through this historical moment, and we need to meet that historical moment in the classroom. That moment is the country in which you are living is changing, and we need a new vision for Canada. It does not really include the United States anymore. Wow. So this is going to really test you today in ways that maybe you haven't really given time to, which is that I'm going to be really helping you to think about your future over the next decades as you go through your life and your children as well, if you have any. How do you see, or how do you want the country to be? It's almost like I'm going to ask you today to put yourself into the shoes of a prime ministerial candidate right now in the federal election. you will be either Mark Carney or Pierre Poilievre or Jasmeet Singh or the leader of the Bloc Québécois in Quebec or the Green Party, whatever you choose. But the point is that you need to think about the future of Canada and what your vision is for it. You will be, and for your final assignment that's coming in about 3 weeks, 4 weeks, you will be doing a larger, you will have an option in that to put forth your vision for humanity. And we started to do that last week. And I'm not going to return to that today. We had a good class just dedicated to the fourth and final assignment / reflection. They mean the same thing. And I hope that that was a useful exercise in helping you to begin to think about what your final assignment could be. But the critical part about thinking about the future is always about vision. What are you seeing ahead for yourself or for society or more? So I want to give you a chance to really go to the boards today and think this through, and then we're going to do this together. The format for the class is getting better and better as the tech is working. I want to set you up here. I want to put you over there to be thinking things through, and then bring you back here, and we put things up on the board, and we think about the important points. So before I do that, though, I want to do a little bit of housekeeping. And I want to also tell you about something that's happening here in the Global Classroom this evening that you might be interested in.
What's happening?
Well, good. You're right there, Manish. Way to go. And you even turn on your microphone and you're responding.
I like to turn on my camera right now, but like,
okay, you don't have
my
to.
camera
You
broke.
don't have to use a camera. No, Jake, you're always in the class. But you're there. You're on your planet, and we know that Planet Manish is actually, it's
I'm
a live
alive.
planet. It's not a dead planet. The other planets
not
are
Venus.
alive. I know they are. We just have to take a look and see in the live chat and see what's happening. But let me make sure. I don't want to insult anybody. So I know Corson's here. Is it loud? How's the audio, Manish? Am my voice okay?
To me, you're all right.
Okay, fair enough. Alina's there. Good. So everybody's there. I just gonna
Sometimes your mic peaks.
Well, I've got it at my best, but thanks. Well, just let me know if it becomes a real problem. Okay, good. And
No problem.
Oyentrade is now in. Edith is in. So for all of you, before we start this activity about what is your vision for the new Canada, I would like to tell you about tonight. There was a student recently. Her name is Afoma. She organized the last cafe, the multicultural cafe that was here that I know you came to. What was it? The cafe, Culture Cafe. Tonight she's having a big debate, and she's organizing a large debate, and it sounds like a great event from I think it's 6:15 to 8:45. And they're going to be debating, first of all, the question of Canada as a 51st state of the US, but also a really interesting question around how should drones be used in warfare and whether they should be banned completely from warfare. It's a really interesting question. So there's going to be some people who are coming tonight. I don't know where they're coming from, just from the campus, who are going to have this open mic debate. And I'm going to assist with the tech support here, so that what gets pushed out on YouTube is going to look really first class. In other words, if people came to YouTube tonight live, if they really knew what we were doing, what they would see is, look at those students at Durham College, man. They got a TV show going there. Man, look at the cameras cutting around the room, and the audio's good, and they're talking about big issues, and they really have a lot to say. And man, that college, that Global Classroom, those guys are world class. Of course, I have a vested interest in doing this properly. I got to tell you, I'm a little worried about my future too.
What
Not
do you mean
completely.
you're
I'm
worried about
pretty
your
safe here.
future?
Last week was a bloodbath at the college. Are you aware of this?
Huh? What?
Are you aware of how many layoffs there were? Departments that have been folded into other departments. We've kept this all
Nani?
quiet because we don't want to disrupt the students. But there were
Damn, that's just
significant
sad.
changes that happened at the college last week. 35 people were laid off. My faculty has been folded into another faculty. Fast Start is gone. No more. Yep.
What was Fast Start
Yeah,
anyway?
absolutely. But we're all, you see, your professors don't tell you. Because we all want you to feel like everything's, you're not being disrupted, and you aren't. But I'm a great believer that when there are problems, you jump right in and you take advantage of them. So listen, I've been teaching here for more than 15 years. I've helped build this place. I'm good at what I do. I have seniority. But you know what? It's a very, very fragile, volatile world right now. And everybody increasingly is worried about their security. I think that this is all an opportunity for you to become even better and smarter. And so I feel it's deeply important for me to come into a classroom and talk to you honestly as grown-ups and help you get prepared for a world that is becoming really unstable. But we can stabilize it if we're smart and we get involved and you know what you're doing. But if you keep your head in the sand and you think somebody else is going to take care of you and you don't get involved, we're going to continue to get really, really bad leaders who will make things worse. And I think it's just a tragedy what's happening in the United States, that they have gotten the leaders that they voted for. So essentially, here's the question. Do you have a vision for a new Canada that doesn't really need the United States?
That's a very interesting question.
This is very difficult. And if any of you are aware of what's going on in the world, as opposed to the clip culture that some students have mentioned as to where they get their information, and you're really checking good sources, established news sites, journalists, good interviews, reading, thinking, you will understand that this country called Canada is facing what we call an existential moment in the next month. We have a federal election campaign unfolding. We will have a new prime minister in April. The two major candidates, Mark Carney of the Liberal Party and Pierre Poilievre, are all talking increasingly about Canada's future and how we will deal with what has always been the elephant in the room, the United States. We've always dealt with them knowing that they are the elephant. That's what Justin Trudeau's father, Pierre Trudeau, called the United States when he created our own constitution in the early 1980s. We just got our own constitution in the early 1980s, our own Charter of Rights and Freedoms. Before that, we were so tied to the Britain. I think 1980 1981, something like that, exactly. He said that living beside the United States was like sleeping with the elephant. This goes back to the 80s, which is when the elephant moves, waves his trunk, it's like a wind storm in Canada. And we got used to that. We got used to living and needing the United States. And they needed us in turn for our resources. But now here comes a movement. And it's been growing for quite a few years now. It's called Make America Great Again. MAGA. And it has its leader, Donald Trump, who operates outside the law. Like, the law is what he wants it to be, not what it has been. And he has declared that he thinks that Canada should be part of the United States. Now, this is not unusual for Canadians if you understand our history, but we will talk about this today. We have dealt with this threat of American annexation since the beginning of this country. In fact, that's why we were confederated in 1867, in large part because after the Civil War ended in the United States in the early 1860s, and Abraham Lincoln was victorious, he was eventually assassinated, died, but there was a movement. They were called the Unionists. They were the ones who believed that now that we have won this war, we have defeated the Confederacy, we've defeated the South, we need to move on and make Canada finally the 14th colony that it was always supposed to be. The American Revolution in 1775 to 1780, 1775 to 1783 or 84, 86, when the Declaration of Independence happened and the United States separated from Britain, and there were 13 colonies all along the east coast of the United States, who then became the original states of this new United States. They, George Washington, Benjamin Franklin, Thomas Jefferson, all these famous framers, the American Constitution, they said, Canada, become the 14th colony. And they even sent armies up here in Windsor, Niagara, Montreal. They wanted to invade. And they said, it'll be just an easy walk. It'll be the easiest invasion of ever. And it led to the War of 1812. And they got pushed back. And the White House got burnt down. And all the indigenous people in the United States and Canada fought on our side to push back the Americans. So this went on and on. There was another rebellion in the 1830s. There were Canadians here who wanted the Americans to come in, and we would become part of them. So there's nothing really unusual. The difference, though, is we have to wake up now and look into the future and think about the unthinkable, which is, do we live in a country that has its own vision for itself, separate from the United States? Are you ready to live in that kind of world or not? I want you to have the chance today to really think about this, because new worlds, which is what we've been looking at over the last 3 weeks, is not just about the new places in the cosmos that we're going to, whether it's Mars or the moon or into another solar system. It's also about the new worlds down here. So that's what we need to do. What is your vision for the new Canada? And we're going to do it today. Okay? So that's the big question. And then I want to just remind you that you have a third reflection coming next week, next Thursday, I think it is. You know about the fourth assignment. I'll post the assignment sheet for that. Does anybody have any questions before we get going? And we'll get going all
Nah,
around the
boo.
screens. And yeah, who is that? Manish?
See,
Okay, Manish, do you have something you'd like to say?
nah, I'm pretty good. I understand
Okay.
what's up.
Let's see. Elsewhere, nothing else in the live chat. I'll leave this up here now so I can see in case we crash on YouTube, because we did earlier today. But that's what people are going to see. And yeah, okay. Yes, Andrew. Sure. Oh, just take this so they can hear you, Andrew. Yeah.
Just to testing 1 2.
Yeah.
Just to confirm with the instructions for the reflection.
Yes.
Right? It says take something from one of the classes that we did, and
That's right.
it has to include a reference.
Yes, one citation.
Citation from whichever concern the class. So
Yes.
whatever class that we use,
Yeah.
the topic we have to find some sort of citation that references that particular topic that we spoke about in class.
That's right.
That's what I'm getting.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So something from research that you do that's not Wikipedia, a place you have found that maybe would be an anecdote or a fact or a statistic or something that supports what you're saying. Okay, Andrew? So from a good website that is a credible source of information. And then you can use APA or MLA format for that.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, good. No, but make sure you understand, because the final assignment is going to have some research too, and I'll be expecting, a minimum of 3 sources for that. Okay. How's everybody doing in general in terms of these final 4 weeks of your semester? Are you all ready for the heavy stuff that's coming? If you have any
Nah.
exams or quizzes or anything like that, is there anything I can help you with at this point? We have a little time before we start that would help you to maybe solve a problem at all, Jake? For the final assignment? Well, the third reflection is going to be due next Thursday, and then the final assignment will be due on April the. Did I post? I think it's the following week, so the next week or the week after.
The one we need to make a video for.
And
The one we need to make a video for. When's
you
that
don't
due?
need. You have a choice. You can do a video. You can do a written piece. I will be putting the criteria up
I
for.
thought it was both.
No, you have a choice. You have a choice of different ways of presenting it.
I was writing and I was like, okay, I gotta get this done quickly because I gotta do my research, I gotta do my brainstorming, gotta get my writing done, and I gotta do my audio recording, then I have
Good.
editing.
Good.
Now you're telling me it's like
You always had a
I have to
choice.
do both.
No, it's never both. It's one or the other. Yeah. Okay. Well, then I think you need to stand up. I can see there's a afternoon doldrums and fatigue that's setting in, including your own professor, who would love to be looking at his steaming espresso machine in the corner right now, and we would line up. But I think we'll just have to leave that to FOMA tonight, who will have some food, I take it, while everybody's debating. There's going to be food again tonight. Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah. Okay. So, let's just. Would you rather? If I keep you in your seats like this, I'm afraid you will disappear into a slumber, and I need your minds. I can cut the class a little shorter to give you a chance to go get some rest. I wouldn't mind myself because I was up quite late last night. I didn't get to bed till 2:30. I was up at 6:30, hitting the 407. Had my 3 espressos.
Damn.
Yeah.
Wait, can you hear me? Hello.
Well, listen. I always want to make sure that you guys are getting the support you need, but also I teach you. But should we be having this class? Maybe we need to go in a little bit of a different direction. But why don't we do this? I'm going to stay the course. Just stand up on your feet, and we'll just take this slowly, okay? Let's get to the screens, and let's walk through this vision thing for Canada. And maybe you will be inspired by the end of the class. So first, let's just see, we'll get our group. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So why don't we have a group of 3 over here, and we'll keep it balanced. So Lorelei and Andrew and Burak, could you go over here, please, to number 1? And not Sean. Is it Sean? Kurt. Okay, Kurt. not Kurt yet, but Raylan, Beiruz, and Essa. Could you go to number 2 over there? And then Kurt and no, I got it. Giovanni, Kurt, Giovanni, and Nick. Yeah, Nick and Jake. Would you please, so it doesn't get too crowded, could you go to number 5 over there? Just that one, okay? Just we'll move slowly, okay? We're going to move very slowly through the afternoon doldrums. And then I will assume that Edith, Oyentade, Alina, Jashandeep, Arshdeep, and Manish are actually sitting, but they're awake. And you can take that, okay, Jake? Go ahead. That's your mic. That's okay, Jake. I
I'm
understand.
alive.
Good. So who's alive? Is that Manish?
Yes.
Okay, Manish is
I'm
alive.
just
Good. Okay.
I'm making sure my mic's working.
I will come to you in a moment, all of you. I will help you, but first I need to get the folks here in person set up. So let's make sure you have your pen, Raylan. You see it on the top. And Andrew, Barack, and Lorelei, you can do a little bit of swiping there to the next one and call this team 1 think through, and you can just rub that off, okay? Rub that off. Team 2 think through, and then we'll call this for now team 3, okay, today. So let me just come and get all of this set up, and then we're going to have a little bit of, let's make sure our tech is happening. Good tech. I like it when you're working. Will you do this for me? Yes, you will, tech. Yes, you will. Okay. So, okay. And I know this, and now we got to get this fed over to the big board. And we do that, and then we do that. And then we will call this team 3. Oh. No, do you want, no, I do want to exit. Okay, just write team 3 think through up there, okay? And then I'll check online. So would you please start making some notes over the next 15 minutes on your vision? Now, you might ask, what is a vision? Well, a vision is exactly what you need to have when you think about the future. It's your imagination. What do you want Canada to be as a country? What do you dream for Canada? Speak to the heart. Try not to give a laundry list of, well, we're going to improve the economy and we're going to, we're going to counter tariff this, and we're going to add more forces to the defense forces, and we're going to make sure that every Canadian has an affordable place to live. All of that's good. Those are details. The vision is something bigger. It speaks to the heart. Like, what do you see for Canada? What kind of country do you want it to be in the future? Just start making some notes, and I'll help you with this, okay? And you can think in terms of your lifetime, not 150 years necessarily. Last class, Lorelei was thinking about 150 years, Canada, America. That might be a little too far. Just 50 years. What do you see? Okay? This is about Canada as a nation. A new vision for Canada. Okay. Please start. I'm going to just check and see if we can get everything up on the big board, and I'll come around in a moment and check. So number 2, you're there. Good. So Raylan, we can see. Beirut, and then team 3. Let's see what's happening on this. Do we get? Yes. Great. So we will get all 3. And I'll move team 2 over here. And I will move team. There we go. We got everybody thinking this through. Now, Cosmos time. I'm going to write the question here, okay? Here is what I would like you to start imagining. It is a new world, a new Canada.
Like the new Captain America movie? New World? Oh
Please
my god.
describe to the best of your abilities with all the imagination that you can bring your vision for a new Canada. A Canada without or with much less of the United States. Wow. That would be a real new world. Good, Manish. So start filling up the live chat with your great thoughts so that we can all be doing this together. And then we're going to take this up together in about 10 to 15 minutes. And then we're going to end the class a little bit early today to give everyone a chance to get some rest. And let me show you what's happening over here, okay? In terms of camera controls, how are we doing? Do we still have our, yeah, good. So our presets are working. So there you see Andrew, you see Burak, you see Lorelei, you see Raylan, you see Essa, and you see Beiruz. They're working together. And then if I come over here, look at that. You see Nick, you see Kurt, you see Jake, and you see Giovanni. Okay, I'm just showing people all the different, I'm doing a kind of a play-by-play here of what's happening in the room. This is the hockey game, and I'm the play-by-play. There goes Lorelei. She's putting something now onto the, whoops, just a second. Let's see what she's up to, Lorelei. Yeah. Oh, no, it's Raylan. Raylan's about to write. She's about to put a note. But then Burak is awake. But Essa's at work. He's trying to figure this out. I'm doing the play-by-play of this class. Okay, let them do some work, okay? And I'm over here just having fun on the camera. Lovely. Okay. Okay, you've started, Manish. That's good. Do you know what a vision means when we talk about a vision? It's something that you can express that speaks to our hearts about what we aspire to be as human beings, all of us. Now, in what you've just mentioned, Manish, this is a good start. You've mentioned education and training, highly skilled workers. This is just part of it. A vision speaks to the high core values that all of us can understand. And it speaks to something in the heart. So Manish, try again. Keep putting your thoughts into the live chat. Very good. And the tech today is working. Stronger European ties, less dependent on America. That's right. Good. Raylan, Essa, let's see what they're up to right now. And I will do it this way, which is if I go there, good. So they're working on things. And then they're working on things. And they're working on things. There we go. Love getting all these presets going today. But I don't want to make people dizzy. But I can tell you that that live stream on YouTube looks pretty damn good today. Because now we can see all the students behind the couches, just along the edges of the couches. And it's a beautiful thing. Now, if I pull back slightly, we would see people sitting. Let's try this for a second. Canada that doesn't depend on the US for anything. Wow. So, Edith, if we didn't, who would become our new friends? Who will become our new friends? What parts of the world? Yep. But the UK, Manish, has always been our friend. Our history, Canada, is tied to the British monarchy. We were originally a British colony. So we need new friends. Who are those friends? Remember, Britain was our original best friend. We were British North America before we became Canada. Uh-oh. Is there an emergency? No. We hear ambulance sirens. Is it an ambulance or police? Something's going on. Well, if we hear fire alarm, we might have to go. Otherwise, could be training. We're hearing ambulances outside, but we don't know, or sirens. Yeah, it's okay. We're safe here for the moment. A vision. That's it. Keep going. Now, I would like one of you in the live chat, Horson, for example, would you please give me a definition or give us a definition of vision? What does vision mean? I'm asking you to provide a vision for a new Canada. Well, check online, could be a definition of the word vision, the Oxford English Dictionary or the Webster's Dictionary. Are you with me, Corson?
Am I getting it wrong?
No, not at all. Keep going, Manish.
Oh, okay.
I'm just trying to get the others also good, Corson. So, Corson, could you please provide a dictionary definition of vision? You can go to open another tab, let's say Oxford Dictionary or Webster. Just put into Copilot or Google. Good, Oyentade. We're getting somewhere. Does that come from Oyentade's head, or does that come from an actual source, a dictionary, for example, that you're using, Oyentade? I'd like to hear a dictionary definition. Keep going, 5 more minutes. Yeah, Giovanni. I'm just going to go over to Giovanni for a moment, folks, but you won't see me, but you will hear me. And you might hear Giovanni on my microphone. So, okay, we're live with the rest of them. Yeah.
I don't know much about things like we have a European Union. Is there like a union like for North America?
Well, there was a union of Mexico, the United States, and Canada. That's been broken apart by Donald Trump. So that no longer exists. There was a trade agreement, but that's been broken. So there was one, that there was an actual union of these 3 countries, and there was free trade going between those countries. That's ended. So
Gonna put like the UK like the European Union
yes,
like become their own thing.
yes.
I was thinking
Go on.
Canada could leave and become their own thing, like leave the union.
Yeah, keep going. Okay. So then, if we do that, is it possible that Canada could be standing on its own 2 feet as a nation, completely independent, not in need of United States for help with defense? We would have our own defense force. We develop a much more effective. Absolutely. No, no. Think of this. The current candidate, one of the candidates, Mark Carney for the Liberals, yesterday announced that he is going to be increasing pay for people in the armed forces. He's going to be doing, yeah, and there are other measures that he wants to enact to strengthen our armed forces, including drones for the Arctic, I believe, and I think Pierre Poilievre, the Conservative candidate, has even spoken of establishing a base in the Arctic so that Canada can protect the Arctic as well. So developing a much more effective and strong army is very important to be independent. Right now, we don't have that kind of strength. Keep going, okay? But the idea of standing on our own 2 feet as a nation requires us to think, well, how would we do that? Stronger defense. But remember, we're a small country population-wise. You know how many people we have in our country, Giovanni? Just about 40 million. 40 million. That's it. 10 times. 360 million or so in the United States, about 38 million in Canada.
Canada have much more land space than the US.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
We could go much more further from the US. I don't know if we could, because since you have so much land space,
Yes.
and many of them are not used up, we could like push the country a little bit.
North.
Yeah.
It's an interesting idea. Make better use of our space. You know, we are the second largest country in the world in terms of land mass. Number 1 is Russia. Absolutely. And it's because of the North, too, the Arctic. That's right. 40% of Canada's land mass is the Arctic, is the North. Shouldn't we be using that more effectively? Working with the indigenous peoples, perhaps, who have that land and see what we can do? Anyways, think of this. Join their group, okay, for now? Excellent. I want to come back to 2 more minutes, okay? A vision for a new world, a new Canada. There we go. I like that, Oyantari. You're dreaming. I dream of affordability for the average person, better wages, no need to have 2 jobs to make a living. I want people to have more time for community and hobbies, not to be filled with the work hustle. Lovely. I'm sure all of you know and remember the speech that Martin Luther King Jr. gave in the 1960s called I Have a Dream. Probably the most famous speech. That's vision. You're dreaming. So it's good to begin with, I dream of. I dream of. Okay. Couple more minutes, and then we're going to have fun taking this up together. We have all of our students here on the big board. Let me just close this right now, and you can see. There we go. 50 years, become an independent country, produce own resources, become more sustainable, build, maintain, with third world countries. Interesting. Modernize transportation. Ray Lynn, what should we do with that oil out in Alberta? All that oil, which is among the largest reserve of oil, the tar sands, where should that oil be going to? Should it be going down to the south, to Texas, in the future where it's processed into plastics and other products, or should we be building a new pipeline in Canada to get that oil to Ontario and Quebec and Nova Scotia? Yeah. Yeah. Let's build a new pipeline. Excellent. So you're dreaming of this new world that you're going to live in if you're going to stay in Canada, the new Canada. Okay, one more minute. Let's see how we're looking on YouTube. We look great on YouTube today. I'm so happy with that. Now, if I was going to zoom out a little bit. So let's try this. Okay? Let's try this. Let's see what happens. If I zoom out a tiny bit, then on YouTube, we will see that move. There it is. And the icons start sitting on the desks. Why not? I can work with that later. For now, we'll just tweak it this way. It doesn't matter. That's a tweak. That's a small change. But when we talk about look at that thing of beauty, that we see everybody down. So on the YouTube, and then when everybody comes back together, it's going to really feel together. Okay, 30 seconds, and then we're going to be all together in this space today. All together in this space. Team 1, Team 3, Edith, Jashandeep, Oyantare, Corson, Alina, Arshdeep. They're there. What would be great for the onliners is if I didn't have to use the live chat. For example, Corson, you're in video production, right? Are you able? Oh, yeah, your microphone doesn't work, which is, I know. I'll accept it, Corson, as yeah, okay. So, Corson, your microphone is not working, right? That's, but you're in video production and you don't have tech that's working? That's not good. Who besides Manish? That's not ideal. Who besides Manish can jump on their microphone? And the reason is I want to show you what's going to happen on YouTube. It's going to look terrific for the recording. Okay, Manish, you're there. I know. Alina, let's see, one more. Are you able, or is your microphone not working, or are you eating right now and you don't want to talk with food in your mouth? I understand that. Or maybe somebody's having vaping or walking their dog. Food. Well, forget it. Okay, don't worry about it. Okay, everybody, just finish up in the next little bit, 30 seconds, and please come back into the circle, and we're going to have the big part of this class. And I'm going to show everybody what we're going to see. And so we want to all come together in this one space. And let's see if we can fill it up. So we'll see people sitting here, but then behind them, you're going to see the others just behind you, like it's a row in a theater. Those icons now are no longer on the side of the screen. They're horizontal, which I think helps increase the sense of everybody's in one class together.
Yes.
So Giovanni, would you be able to sit here? Yeah, and you sit, okay, and it's David, yeah, David. Okay, David, sit with Giovanni. Well, you guys like to sit outside the circle, right? I can zoom out, but could you come into the circle for a moment, everybody? Let's just see how this looks, okay? You've got couches. Well, I know, I just, everyone has their routine. If I asked Andrew to go sit there, he would say, come on, Lon, this is my spot. He knows. We're all creatures of habit, we humans, okay? So Beirut, that's Beirut's spot. Okay, and then Raylin and Laura Lai. Essa roams. He'll take whatever spot. He's good, but they have their spot. Okay. Sometimes Essa sits there. We see something coming out. Nice hat. It's always, he's got style, this guy. He's got style. Okay. So, okay, good. So it's all looking more or less. Now we can have our real conversation. Okay. Let me just come back to I'm excited when the tech is working. I work hard to get this. Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to bring back now then the this okay, and that's what everybody's seeing. And I'll go with the live chat here. I can see that. So we want to figure out what this new Canada might look like. And we want it to be kind of not boring. We want to speak to the heart. So let's start looking at these. Team 1, could you take a microphone, somebody from Team 1, and just read out loud what you have there? Go ahead, Burak. One.
So,
Yeah.
I'm gonna be thinking about the things we write, right?
Yeah, and you can add to it as you're reading it. But what we see, of course, is everybody is seeing you looking at that and reading it. out
I'm
loud.
just gonna be sticking our bullet points. Of
Okay.
course, in 50 years, we all team members want to see the Canada less dependent on America and has more strong relationship ties with the European countries,
Okay.
apart from the North.
Sure.
And the other thing is improving infrastructure because I kind of wanted to add this bullet point myself because Japan has more rigid terrain than Canada, but it's a smaller country. We'll give them to that, but has bullet trains that can go 100
Yeah,
kilometer, like
that's right. Great tag.
more than 100 kilometers per hour, and
Yeah.
almost as the speed of the sound. But the maglev trains and everything. So the people of the Japan can
Yes.
travel their country in a much more faster pace,
Yes.
almost in 4 hours, maybe even faster than a plane if you consider the time you spend at the airport.
Sure.
And the second is the reducing the homeless population that is on the streets right now. It's actually real sad to see that it's kind of increasing every day, right?
Okay.
And the other one is to make higher education more affordable. It's kind of a European thing. In Europe, the universities are almost free. You just have to give into the entrance exam, and you have to prove that you can almost qualify for a free education too.
Mhm.
If you're at the top layer of your exam results, I think you all had your education free.
Mhm.
And the last one is providing more resources for indigenous people. I think we kind of heard about that the last year about the water crisis for the indigenous people of Canada. Right?
Yep.
So those are our bullet points for the next 50 years. We wanted to just stick to the more realistic goals rather than not open-ended ones, right?
Okay, now let's go a little further because I'm not feeling vision yet. I'm feeling a list of things that need to be improved. So let's work on this a little bit. A vision. What among this or something else that you could say that speaks to what all Canadians want in the future, what they hope for, what they dream of, some bigger value, core value that is going to unite the country and make it feel like it's on a new course. The way that, in a way, Pierre Trudeau said in the early 1980s, Justin Trudeau's father, when he said, Canada is a multicultural nation. People come from everywhere. Our heritage is the entire world. We want this country to be a place where all people in the world feel welcome and where they can aspire and grow and achieve what they want, and they will be supported, and it will be a just society. That's what he said, a just society. So he talked about these larger values. So try and think for a moment of like what's the biggest, most important thing that you could speak to that would make all of us sit up and go, yeah, that's what we want for Canada, the new Canada. Just improve infrastructure. That's these are technical details. What's the bigger poetry? Think poetry, because a vision speaks to the soul and the heart. This is practical stuff. Oh, but that's not good. Vision is what we all want. We all have dreams. Do we want to have a freer society? Okay, let's move around and see if something comes out of the others that starts to speak to the heart about the new Canada. In the way that Pierre Trudeau said, we're going to have a just society, a society that has all peoples represented. We are of the world in Canada. We're not of one particular culture. We're not French. We're not English. We're not Indigenous. We're of all. We're diverse and we're growing, and we are a great experiment. Canada is a great experiment in how people from all parts of the world can live together in some kind of harmony and grow together. We are multicultural. He even said we will be officially bilingual. There will be 2 languages, French and English. Those are the 2 official languages. But we need something larger. So, okay, team 2. Could somebody in team 2 take a microphone and tell us what you've written? Beirut. Yeah. Last week you had to come up here and take some tough. Why doesn't Beirut come back again? You feel like getting up on your feet and want to stay in your seat? Okay, Beirut is going to stay in his seat today. Beirut, team 2, think through.
Okay, so 50 years into Canada's future,
Yes.
our vision is that it becomes a more independent country, not dependent on other countries that have higher power or influence, and like the US, especially.
Yes.
So this could be accomplished by producing our own resources and becoming, and in doing so, we would have to become more sustainable, which means like our practices on sustainability will have to improve. We'll have to find better ways, if not ways that have already existed that we've kind of dismissed. So the other point is build and maintain relationships with third world countries, because Canada basically, like geographically speaking, is more of a temperate country. America is also kind of a temperate country, so they would, theoretically speaking, they would have similar resources. But third world countries are mostly found in the tropics. So they will, so tropical countries will have resources that we don't have, and we have resources that they don't have. So I think it would be good to like have a relationship with those countries, so like we could help them, and like they could also like depend on us. So improve,
Yes.
because like our public transportation isn't exactly like there compared to like places like China, I think, and like bullet trains and such like that. And like, for example, like our buses get crowded very easily, and like, transportation's kind of a bit of an annoyance right now. And then could you slide
it? Okay.
add more?
Who could someone be the slider? Raylin? Yeah, could you just slide it? Good. We're getting a list again, which is good. This is the beginning. It's the list of things. But that's okay. That's a start. But I'm not feeling vision yet, something bigger. But we'll work on that, okay? Something new about this country.
Yeah, so, and then we have creating more job opportunities. And the last one we have is restoring the natural land. And I think that this is necessary because like I think I mentioned in a previous class how like not only urbanization but also like agriculture, particularly monoculture, is very degrading and like is going to like ruin our production rate of like products.
Sure, the soil is
Yeah,
damages
so
and kills the
think
soil.
so I think it is necessary to reform Canada in a way that like we thrive off of like natural land and um, saying that we gather with based on how like in a way that where like production was more abundant, like so we could sustain our population.
Ooh, I'm getting a sense of almost a little new vision coming through there, and it would be something like, let us create the most sustainable nation on earth.
Yeah, basically.
Let us create the most sustainable nation on earth. Open to all, degrading of nothing.
That can
Open to all, degrading of nothing, in which all peoples are respected and can grow, because sustainability is growth. It's about ... I'm not there yet. I'm thinking it through with you, but you want to take something and give it some feeling and relevance to all of us. All of us understand sustainability. I think all of us want things to be more sustainable. All of us don't want to destroy. All of us don't want to degrade. And so you have to look at the list and start to think of what are the bigger sort of human desires underneath. That's where you're going to get your vision, and that's what's going to sound new eventually. So sustainability potentially could be something in there that you could build a vision around. Let's move on, okay? Let's move on. And this is just a way to think about imagining the future. You will have to do this more for your final assignment in a much bigger way. Team 3, can you give a microphone to here? Okay, let's see. Who has not? I want to make sure. Giovanni, Jake, David, Nick. David came a little later. Giovanni, you take the mic. Okay, go ahead. Yeah, let him speak today. Yeah, okay. I know you want. Go ahead, Giovanni.
So we were thinking like develop a much more effective and stronger army because,
Yep.
like you see, all those top countries like North Korea or China, you always hear about their army. Like
Yeah.
you don't hear about Canadian army. Like before, I didn't know Canada even have like soldiers because I never seen soldiers.
Yeah.
So I think like to be one of those countries at the top, you have to have an effective army. Like you have to be ready for war any moment.
Absolutely. We have to be ready to defend ourselves.
Yeah, I
Don't we?
don't think Canada
Absolutely.
as yet. So that is one of the one step you could take.
Do you know, by the way, that Canada does have a history of military combat and very brave and very resourceful? In the Second World War, for example, we flew planes. And in the First World War, there was a very famous pilot, and there's an airport named after him in Toronto called the Billy Bishop Airport. And he was a great fighter pilot in the First World War. Do you know the planes were manufactured in the Durham region too? There's a long history of manufacturing and in the aeronautics industry just in this region, along with automobiles as well. So we do have, it's just we've been in a supportive role, Giovanni. We always supported the United States or others, or we had a peacekeeping mission with the United Nations. And our prime minister at that time, Lester Pearson, in the 1950s, won a Nobel Prize for Peace for his peacekeeping mission. But now
Things are different.
things are different. Yeah. We have to worry about the Arctic. And Russia has designs, and United States is trying to even occupy Greenland now for its resources. So we have to think about protecting our resources and keep going, okay? Yeah.
Second one, far more trade partners, better relationship with other countries. Basically, like what he said earlier, we like Canada have stuff that other countries don't have, and other countries have stuff Canada would love that we usually take go to from the US. But as I say, like not forming any proper relationship anymore. So you have to like turn to other people. So I think forming better relationships with other countries from different continents and stuff.
Yep.
That would be a good step towards reaching to the heights you want to go to. And for the third one, expand to the north, like social transformation. Like I was thinking, like you told me, Canada have a lot of land space, but we don't have enough people.
Exactly. And most of us all live down in the south along the border with the United States. And then you go north and north, it just gets wilderness and incredible land, but no people.
So I think, social transformation, accept more immigrants, let's farm, like you said, let's farm let's farm a bond with everyone, like you said, like it's very diverse and stuff. So I think, yeah, get more immigrants, and everyone could form a team basically. Or and like
He's onto something. People have been talking about this. Keep going, Giovanni, which is saying we're going to even open our immigration even more than we ever have. Come to Canada. We've got the land. You can find a place. We're going to build a big, powerful nation together with 100 million people.
Yeah, because
50 million people.
they have the land space for, like you said, like Canada is the second largest country in the world with land spaces. So why not? Why you just have the land spaces just there? You could, invite other people, like get other people to fill the land space. And then even by filling the land spaces, new ideas could come in. And
How do new ideas come in when
know-
you fill a land space?
uh just human capital basically.
Oh,
Everyone comes in with their
he's onto
ideas,
something.
because like I said, Canada is a country of free speech and everyone come
Human
have your ideas, and we could work with some, don't work with some, implement some, think about some, and by doing all of that, it could make the world a better place. And also a next thought too, I just think Canada is like, it's too easy to go from Canada to the US. It's almost like I'm walking from that classroom over to that classroom. I think that's the factor too. Like it's too easy to like go into the US. So I always just, that's the next step. I think it could, like I said, expand and go. I don't know if you could do it, but like move away from the US a little bit.
But we don't want to build a wall or barriers.
I
Don't
know.
we want to stay open?
Yeah,
We don't want to start closing down and saying, you can't go there, you can't do that. We want to be even more open. Isn't that what you're saying?
yeah. But at the same time, think more open, but too close to go into the US and too close for the US to come into Canada. So I think if you want to make a change, you might have to push away. I don't know if like I said, I don't know if it's possible, but like it's too close.
Yeah, that's right. We
Because
have to be
like I
very
said, Canada,
so close that we become so dependent, but
yeah.
we
'Cause I think-
lost sight of the bigger picture because we looked only to them for our culture, for our heroes, for our sports teams. Although we did win a basketball cup and our hockey just beat the US and we're pretty good.
Yeah, like
Right.
even those stuff, like try and, like I said, with the human capital, come and like form it ourselves. Because, for instance, like the Toronto FC, they play in a US competition. They have to fly to the US to go play versus US teams. Why not Canada? Although, for instance, we do have our own soccer competition.
Yes.
Why not make, for instance, Toronto FC? They like how they're the quote unquote the biggest, like in Canada, the biggest team in Canada. Why
Yes.
not we like put them in our league so we could get more exposure and more people watch and those stuff. For instance, same thing with like the hockey thing, like form it in Canada, so all Canada, because like I said, Canada is big as well, big too. So like we could start our own thing in Canada.
Yeah. New worlds.
Yeah,
You see, what you're doing is you're imagining and you're thinking. You just spent the last, 2-3 minutes just telling us about the future and what you see. You were imagining a new future. This is such a critical thing to do. We have to be able to think it first. We've got to imagine it. We've got to give ourselves the chance to imagine. Otherwise, somebody's going to come in and imagine it for us.
they've been doing. They've been like carrying us by the,
Yeah, to some extent. Why don't we do this? I think that we have enough today to allow you to leave the class today a little bit more inspired about a new world that's unfolding. And I
I'm
think that
hella inspired.
Giovanni has explained things very well and given me also inspiration too when I hear a student who can be brave and just begin to tell us what he's thinking and isn't afraid. In terms of the live chat, I'm going to save this as always. The most important thing for all of you who put things in the live chat was that I wanted to be able to give you a chance to think about these things. But I think we should conclude the class at this point, unless there is something you would like to say on this point that we didn't address today. We are not leaving today, this class, with the vision, a new vision yet, but we're on our way. We'll continue to visit this next week as well. But I would like to leave you with something kind of hopeful that comes from world history and a very good world historian that supports Giovanni's point. What's that? Hope?
Hope doesn't bring bread to the table.
Hope does not bring bread to the table.
Actions do.
This is true. But even a person who is destitute and in great need of bread, Barack, if that person did not have some sort of hope in their heart for something, life would be very grim. And it requires all of us, even through the worst suffering, to be able to somehow see that it will get better. And if you don't believe me, talk to people who are very profoundly religious, who have suffered a great deal, and they will open your eyes to the idea that even in that suffering, deep suffering, there is something beyond that that provides grace and hope. And without that, we're dead. We're dead souls. Well, we have variations of that, Barack, that, hope doesn't put bread on the table. And it's true. I mean, we need to think about, we got to eat. But a lot of people suffer in the world without food, without anything. And yet they find a way to keep going and not give up because they've got this little glimmer of hope. Now, William McNeill, Barack may remember this name from Short History of the World. William McNeill, one of our great world historians, wrote a book in the 1960s. He published it in the 1960s. He spent 40 years writing it. It was one of the first world histories, history of the human community. And he said about humans, what humans do so well compared to any other creature on this planet, there are many things we do. We are the best persistent collective learners. When we come together, the more the better. You put humans into a room, you put them into a country, you put more of them together and they interact, all these new ideas start happening. Because humans are talking, they have language, they're writing, they're sharing. And then the human potential, human capital gets developed more. If you put humans away from each other and they're isolated, it is more difficult. We all need one another for generation of new ideas, despite what anybody says that we can do it alone. Nobody can do it alone. Everybody needs something or somebody to support them because we do well together. And that, in a way, is what this is. We're learning together. We're learning together. Human capital coming here. So that's supported by historical research and by good thinkers, Giovanni. More people in more places come together, watch that human capital grow. Jake?
Going off what he once said.
What's that?
Going off what he said about actions bring bread to the table, not hope.
Yes.
The characters Tulio and Miguel from El Dorado have. There's a meme where
Yeah.
it's basically both is good. Both working in tandem will be the best.
Yes.
Both can bring, but they both have their downfall, their faults by themselves. But if you have both of them together, working hand in hand, you will succeed more
Yeah.
because that hope will drive your actions. It will
Absolutely.
cause them to be bigger, and those actions will reinforce your hope.
And even better is when you said going off what he said. Well, if we really got going, and let's say Kurt said, going off what Jake said, I'm going to tell you this. And then David goes, going off what Kurt said, I got this idea. Now you see the power of humanity. Right? Okay, guys. New world. We're on it. Next week, I'll see you. Discussion post 11 needs to be posted. Reflection 3 is due next Thursday. Have a good week, and maybe I'll see some of you here tonight for the big debate, FOMA, and some good food. Okay, have a good evening and week. Yeah. Okay, for those of you online, we're ending the class. I'm going to shut my microphone shortly and disconnect.
Bye.
Take care, Manish. See you.
Have a good week.
Thank you. I'm going to save this live chat. Good.
Bye
I'm
bye.
gonna shut my
Have a good
microphone
week.
so good we can talk because then we'll have privacy.